Dill Show. I'm your host, Terrence McCray. Every week we bring you business information, tips, insight from entrepreneurs, business professionals, and inspired individuals, business professionals. You hear me? As well as inspired individuals from the Bay Area and beyond. The Close the Deal Show also features Entrepreneur Week, Financial Week, something that we're going to do on a continuous basis. Also, small business owners and nonprofit organizations. And if you're looking for strategies to help your business and educate the public, then you're in the right place. Thank you for joining us today, Close the Deal Show viewers. Today we're going to talk about multiple issues dealing with finance. But I would like to quote from a famous person who's made an impact not only in finance but as well as in business throughout America, a famous African American by the name of Earl Graves. He says, what makes networking work is that it sets up a win-win situation in which all parties involved get to take something home. Networking is a sharing process until you understand that you won't have much of a network. So today, my good friend, who is a part of the Close the Deal Show family, as well as a movement. I'm talking about the Build Wealth movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jasper Smith again to the Close the Deal Show. Welcome, Mr. Jasper Smith.
What's going on, Terrence? Always a pleasure to be here, brother. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. You know, we do a lot of talking about how we need to learn how to manage our money.
Mm-hmm.
But you being a financial planner as well as a financial investor, how could you explain to the viewers that watch this show whether they recently came into a large sum of money, whether they was recently released and just got a job, whether they just had to file for issues dealing with their home, whether it was escrow or whatever the case may be, how would you be able to explain to someone how to finance their money?
So starting out, I think we kind of touched on this kind of before, is that we got to have some goals somewhere, somehow, right? So I think we talked about it before where we want to have, kind of some short-term goals, or I think we talked about the quick win where you got to do something right away. That's one part you got to have. There may be some goals that you extend out maybe a month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. But then we're going to have some long-term goals as well. So that thinks about like the home ownership piece, the retirement piece. You may be thinking about a business. And so you want to first have all these kind of goals written down. I think part of what it does is that serves as your reminder that you do care enough about it. I think a lot of times we get caught up in our brains about, well, I know what I want to do. But I think when you write things down, there's a better chance of it actually becoming a reality because you're constantly seeing that reminder that you actually set for yourself.
So what makes you qualified as a financial planner?
Good question. So I've taken a lot of tests. And when you're dealing with different financial services professionals, kind of like how we have quite a few in the Urban Financial Services Coalition, you generally have gone to maybe school, so formalized schooling through college. Maybe you were a business major, or maybe you were an accounting major, maybe you studied in real estate, what have you. But when you get out into the professional world too, there are different industry licenses and designations that you can pursue that can essentially help to kind of build that resume. So I've taken my series 6, 7, 63, 65. I have my life and health insurance licenses, and so I've had those since, I've been in the industry over a decade now, but I had those pretty early on in the game, and so that is partly what makes me qualified, is because I've taken the test to be able to, sell certain products, but also being able just to speak the language. And so part of, when you're dealing with a financial expert or professional, you really want to ask him or her those questions about, well, what kind of credentials do you have? Like, you're not going to trust a doctor if they haven't gone to med school. Well, you shouldn't trust a doctor if they haven't gone to med school. So any financial person you're working with, you definitely want to ask, do you have certain industry licenses or designations that would speak to showing your credibility, right? We got to know that, okay, you've been working in this industry for a while, but what do you really know? And so sometimes having those licenses or a designation of some sort can help to kind of show you or prove to the potential customer or client that, hey, I am qualified to do this work.
So, if you had the opportunity to share something in regards to, the end of the year is coming up,
Yep.
and people
Yep.
are spending lots of money
Mm-hmm.
because of quote unquote the holidays.
Yep.
And usually, when they spend money that they really don't have.
Yeah, all the time.
So, why should someone seek a financial planner?
I'll say it this way. Even the top athletes in the world have a coach, and nothing's any different from this financial planning world, right? Or for the financial planning game, if you will. So there are some highly educated people I've worked with in the past who, on paper, they look great. PhDs, multiple master's degrees, high profile jobs, responsible for a lot of people, managers, senior level people, right? But a lot of us didn't get that education around money. And so, as educated as we are in certain regards or certain aspects of our lives, money tends to be one of those areas that a lot of people just don't have a good formalized education around. And so that's why we have these issues around the holidays about overspending. There's going to be somebody you know personally who they're going to spend so much money on gifts over the next couple of weeks if they haven't already made those purchases. And then when the new year comes, they're going to complain about how broke they are. Happens every single year, and these holidays come at the same time. Terrence, I don't know if you knew this. There are 3 holidays that happen at the exact same time every single year, and yet for some reason we don't plan for this time of the year. There's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And depending on where your family is, you could be flying around, you might be buying a lot of food, you're buying a lot of gifts, and so people need to do a better job of planning ahead, knowing that these holidays are coming. Now, if they can't do it on their own accord, they need somebody to help them. They need a coach.
And you being a coach, right? I can't ask you specifically who you've worked with on a professional level because that's confidential.
For sure.
However, if you were doing a workshop
Yep.
and someone came in and they were looking for someone to help them coach $2 million, what would you explain to him or her
Yep.
how to manage that $2 million?
Yep. So we actually get that a lot. If you talk to anybody who's been in the industry long enough, people constantly want that quick, give me the silver bullet. Like give me the tip. Give me the golden nugget. So part of what I try to do, and I adopted this some years ago, was the document that I shared with you about how financial planners actually operate, right? And so I am trying to get in my mind.
So are you referring to the financial planner advisor options?
That's right. So if you see this diagram, there's essentially 3 levels, right? So we have the needs analysis, wealth management, and then the financial planning based engagement. So for somebody with that $2 million, I don't know what they need. I don't know what they want to do with that $2 million. So there's always going to be a person to be able to sell you some product, right? And that's that first layer, which is the needs analysis. So you might come to me and say, you got that $2 million, say, I need to invest this money. I'll say, great. I could sell you anything and then be out of your life for a while. I'll get my commission. You got what you needed. We go about our lives. Now, granted, I might ask you quite a few questions to make sure it's actually what you need by way of this investment opportunity, but there may not be a lot of extra service around that because that need you might have had for that $2 million could have been very minor or minute.
Define extra service.
So a lot of times, and you may have heard this before, is when, from the financial standpoint, a lot of advisors, they essentially want to be managing your entire financial life. But you as the client, you don't have to give us all your money. You may say, I want a little piece with you. I want a little piece over here. I want a little piece over there. And so we might have an agreement to where you say, Jasper, I want you to manage this for this very specific need and nothing else. Or you may say, Jasper, I have these other plans and dreams and goals, and I really need some help kind of shaping this whole financial plan that I'm trying to create, right? So there's always going to be that transactional level where we could just, I have what you need, I sell it to you, you're happy. Or there could be that second layer that you just showed, which is the wealth management. Maybe I'm managing some money for you. So maybe I'm charging you just a fee instead of just doing the commission part like level 1. So level 2 could be just I'm doing the fee-based plan to where I'm managing that $2 million and I'm charging you like, say 1% on that per year, and I could charge you on a quarterly basis. But because now my success is predicated on what I do with these investments, right? So you're trying to make money, I want to make you money, and the firm that I work for also wants to make money. But now we're on the same playing field. So if your account goes up, you're happy, I'm happy, the firm's happy. If the market is going down, you're upset, I'm upset, the firm's upset, right? Because there's the ebbs and flows of the stock market. So the wealth management layer, or the managed money part, is exciting for a lot of people, because now they feel like I'm actually in the ball game with you. I didn't just sell you a product and walk off. If I'm on that managed money platform, I'm calling you maybe a little more frequent. Hey, Terrence, we need to check in every quarter. Here's what the market did in the last 3 months. Hey, Terrence, how you feeling about the stock market? Hey, Terrence, anything in your life changed I need to know that could help me better manage your money? So I may go a little bit above and beyond, because now my success is predicated off of making sure that you're happy.
So, for years you've been managing money.
In a former life, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so ideally, share with the viewers what's the most you've had the opportunity to manage.
I had an account for about 3.5 million,
Okay,
and I got it pretty early in my career, and I was really nervous when I first got the deal.
why is that?
I was so new to the industry,
Okay,
but it was a tough time, because that was the only one I had gotten for a while.
Okay.
So I had a lot of smaller accounts, and I got this one big one. I was super excited. I worked on it with another advisor, so it wasn't just all me.
okay,
But again, it opened up my eyes to see that people with the larger account balances, generally speaking, have some of the same basic fundamental needs as the person who has $100,000.
okay.
Basic stuff that we all need as humans, as families, as spouses. There's some common things that we all seem to want, and I saw that they were still human. Now, there were a few more commas, but in those initial meetings leading up to the actual sale itself, it was amazing to see that the wealthiest people aren't that much different from folks who don't have that much.
So, do you actually see any change in the financial market since Trump came into office after Obama's left?
There's been a lot. There's been a lot of turmoil. I think for those who maybe don't watch the stock market or track investments in general, we hit probably the bottom, give or take, around February or March of 2009. So Obama had just gotten into office, and Obama recently left. But what happened is, during Obama's time in the market, during his time in office, the market was going up. So everything was doing pretty darn good overall. And anytime you have a change in leadership in the presidency, you're gonna have some different things happen, right? So the stock market, like most things, is sometimes emotional. So just fear alone can cause people to make questionable decisions if they don't have that coach or that advisor or that planner to help them navigate these times. And so we've seen that the economy was doing well for so long during Obama's reign, is that Trump gets in, but the economy's starting to slow down. Now, mind you, it's still been a decent year overall, but it's always going to depend on who you're talking to, because some people look at the overall market in certain sectors, and so they have certain thoughts and feelings towards looking at specific sectors, and those sectors dictating what the rest of the market does. And so depending on what experts you follow online, some people have some very strong opinions about where we are, and if this year is one of those where it was just kind of a slow year, or can we continue on that upward trajectory like we were from pretty much March of 2009 to pretty much January of this year. It's very hard to sustain that in a long term. If you look at any historical data of the stock market, after an extreme great period, which is a bull market when it's going up, is always followed by a bear market, which is going down. And after the bear market happens, it goes back up again. And that basic fundamental is what a lot of people are actually missing, is that we tend to get so emotional about the stock market. But again, history has shown us it's going to get bad, it's going to get good again, it's going to get bad, it'll get good again. And you can look up the data that shows this to be true. So for the novice investor, the person who's never worked with a financial planner or advisor, it's very challenging for them to do it. It can be done by yourself, right? You can do a lot of things on your own. It's just, do you have the time? And do you want to make the time to read and learn more about how our markets work?
So share with the viewers, a comprehensive, in-depth analysis of some of the following areas. We're talking about characteristics for a financial planning-based engagement. What are the objectives, the non-products, and the specific advice, so that someone that is watching this show could know, come the first of the year, I may look into a financial
Yep.
planner,
Yep.
or I may actually pursue a financial planner, and it possibly could either be you or someone at the Urban Financial Service Coalition, or someone ideally that they already know of, they just didn't take the time out
That's right.
to pursue.
So you hit a couple different things. So anybody who's even considering working with an advisor, or maybe you have this quote unquote advisor who you're calling your advisor, you really need to ask him or her, how do they get compensated? So this document I'm sharing with you, Terrence, and all the viewers, it is one of those where, again, this is what, in some form or fashion, your financial person should be able to explain. Are we doing transactional business, which is level 1? Are we doing managed money, which is level 2? Or are we doing comprehensive planning, which you just alluded to, which is the top level? The top level is, think of it as the Rolls Royce of treatment, right? You're coming in, we are going to do everything from start to finish. I need to know everything about your current financial situation. I need to know if you've worked with other tax accountants. Do you have attorneys? Do you have a budget? I mean, I'm going to go a lot deeper, because now I'm going to devise a game plan for you. And I may put it in a nice binder. I may have it accessible virtually. And so this game plan is going to go through your goals. It's going to take an assessment of what you've done up until the point where we've met. And then we're going to look at, well, what do we want to do going forward? And then what might we need to do from an implementation standpoint? So the top layer is, I'm going to do a plan for you. And then there still may be some transactional business or some managed money as a part of the implementation part, but we're doing both the planning and maybe executing on some solution. Now, again, that one person could do both. They could do the plan, and then you could still buy something from me. Or you could just do the plan. I could help you build the game plan, but maybe your cousin's in the industry and you want to give your cousin the business. But you still would pay me to do the plan and then go buy, let's say, some stocks or investments or insurance through your cousin because you want to support the family. So that top layer, we're really kind of looking up under the hood and figuring out what pieces do you have, what pieces don't you have, and how do we make sure that your financial car is going to run smooth as possible.
Well, when you say that, first thing come to mind for me is the fact that, say for instance, I want to go buy a new car.
Yep.
But I'm looking for the best deal possible.
Yep.
So what would be different from someone wanting to find the best financial planner over someone else?
Great question. So I'm always big on interviewing 3 people. And here's how I break it down. Most of us have somebody in our family or close circle of friends who's in financial services, generally speaking. So I'm always going to look at, who do I know that's close to me? Again, we usually don't work with those people right away, but we all got a cousin that sells insurance. I mean, they're everywhere. There are a lot of financial services professionals, right? So I always look at, who do I know in my immediate family or close circle of friends that may be able to assist me with one of those 3 items, right? The planning part. Maybe I want to look at, depending on where you bank, whether that's a large bank, small bank, or a credit union. A lot of financial institutions have financial planners either in-house or they have relationships, so they can offer maybe a referral for you. So you have your close network of friends or family who you could look to for help. You could look at your current financial institution, and when all else fails, go to the internet. Type in your zip code and type in financial planner and see who comes up that's within your neighborhood, because maybe you want to support a local advisor. So again, I always want to say you want to do at least 3, because you need to know this person, which is going to take some time. And at some point, you got to trust them, because they're supposed to be helping you. And you really got to like them, him or her. Like, that likability factor is critical. I actually told somebody one time, they had come in for the discovery meeting where we kind of figure out if we're going to work together. Like, I'll explain the different levels. And I said, look, you're probably going to go shop around, which you should. I said, but you should probably do maybe 2 or 3 more people, because at some point, you're just going to get too much information. It's going to be tough for you to make a decision. So I said, go interview 2 or 3 more people, and then you let me know if you think I'm the best choice. So part of it is figuring out again who's the person that I'm actually going to like to work with. And if you don't like your current advisor, fire him or her and get a new one.
How could people find out more from you in the workshops you do?
Yeah, so they can find me. Primarily been on Instagram quite a bit lately, so I'm at Mr_Build Wealth. That's the personal handle, and then on the business side is at the Build Wealth Movement. Feel free to shoot me a DM or like something that I post. I do a Build Wealth tip of the day, so trying to encourage people to just get a little bit more comfortable as it relates to money, because my whole effort is trying to change what people think and feel about money.
Well, Mr. Jasper Smith, aka Mr. Build Wealth, thank you for coming on the Close the
Thank
Deal
you so
show.
much for having me.
Always,
Right.
always, it's a pleasure. Now that you've been informed in how you can finance your own income as well as large sums of money that you may have recently come in contact with. You know, this is the holidays. Before we close this deal, we would love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, questions, or would like to be a guest on the Close the Deal show, please contact us at www.theclosethedealshow.com. San Francisco Bay Area viewers, you can find us every Monday night at 8:30 on Cable Comcast on the Close the Deal show, Channel 29. Live shows are every Wednesday, Channel 76. But worldwide, you can find the Close the Deal show on YouTube. Just type my name, Terrence McCray. Please subscribe and make a comment as well as like your favorite episode. Take good care, everyone. Don't forget, find the right connection and be sure to close the deal. Take care.